How do consistently profitable traders make a living trading Forex? After watching this video, you will know exactly how full-time traders make a living from trading Forex. In this video, I will be talking about the one thing that you need to become a profitable trader, how to level up, and how professionals make a full-time living from trading Forex. By the way, are you enjoying my videos? Subscribe so you don't miss anything. Do you want to become a full-time profitable trader? Then click the link below the video, schedule a free Zoom call with me, and together we make sure that you get the right steps to become a full-time profitable trader. Alright, let's start by talking about the one thing that you need to become a profitable trader. What's that one thing? It's one strategy, one working strategy to be precise. Now, I know I've said it before, but listen, hear me out. One strategy, guys. Like, so many people try to just look at the chart and they learn supply and demand, they learn a certain indicator, they learn this, they learn that, and there is no structure in what they do. They don't have one clear strategy that they do over and over again. And that's what you need to be building. That's what all the professionals have in common. They don't just look at a chart and they're like, oh, do this, do that, do this, do that. They have one plan, one strategy, and that's what they do, and they execute it day in, day out. That's how professionals make money. And of course, some professionals have multiple strategies, but they started with one and they mastered one setup. And when they mastered one setup and got consistent with applying it to the markets, that's when they added more. Not everything at once, but step by step. And so many people that are trading and that are failing are just trying to do everything at once. Oh, if I combine this with that, if I combine this with that. It sounds nice, but in reality you're making it so complex and it makes it like really hard to figure out what's working and what isn't. And at the end of the day, to get from losing to profitable trading is to figure out what's working, stick to that, and ditch what's not working. And it's really hard if you keep adding stuff and making things complex, then it's really hard to figure out what's working. So my question to you is, do you have one clear setup that you take over and over again? If it's not the case, then you know what to work on. If it is the case and you're still not making money, it's either because the setup isn't working or you are having problems with executing your trading strategy. And we'll get back to that later. But for now, one setup, guys, just one setup. Now the next step, like I said in the beginning, is leveling up. Now, how do you level up? I'm a true believer in having one setup with a clear edge, and the edge doesn't have to be that big, and then allocating your bet size in an efficient way. Now, what do I mean by that? Every strategy is going to have periods where it performs good and periods where it doesn't perform good. And usually it has to do with the context. For example, if I take my setup in the middle of nowhere, it provides me with edge. But if the setup happens at a great location with great context, the edge on my setup is way, way bigger. And conventional traders, conventional retail educators will tell you to risk 2% on this trade, 2% on that trade. Now, that sounds ridiculous. Like it's easy and you're like, yeah, makes sense. But like, you're shooting yourself in the foot. And why? It's because you have one setup that provides you with a small edge. Then you have the same setup in a different context and you know from testing that this performs better. Why on earth risk the same on both setups? Doesn't make sense. So how do professionals level up? They know in which context the setup works best, and then they allocate risk accordingly. So they allocate more risk to the better context and less risk to setups where the context isn't there. And by doing that, you skew your results, you skew your risk to reward, because when the odds are lower, you have less money on the line. When the odds are higher, you have more money on the line. And only by doing that, combining it with a small edge, really provides you with consistent results. That's what I'm doing. I don't have the best strategy, I just have a strategy that provides me with a small edge, and I allocate my bet size accordingly. And because I do these two things, my win rate is decently high and my risk reward is better than 1-to-1. That's all you need. That's how I make consistent returns. That's why I manage money for other people. Because I know how the game works. I know how to allocate my position size. And that's how winning traders approach the markets. Now let's go to the last point. How do full-time traders actually make a living? We spoke about having one clear setup that puts the odds in your favor. We spoke about bet size, allocating accordingly depending on the context and probabilities. And now point number 3, how do they actually do it? And it's all in execution, guys. You can have the best strategy, but if you suck at execution, you will never make money. Execution is key. How to approach execution. See it as a game. The way I see it is simple. I can only make money if I follow my proven plan. If I deviate from my proven plan, I will not make money. And of course I'm trading to make money. So I need to follow the plan. And even if I lose today, tomorrow I have to make the same trade. And the day after, if I lose again, I have to make the same trade. That's what changes. That's what is the difference between professionals and people that lose. And that's why so many people lose, because first of all, they never have a clear strategy, and when they do, they just can't stick to the plan because they get emotionally attached to the outcome. And that's what you need to get rid of. You're playing a game against professionals, and if you get emotionally attached, you will lose. So think for yourself, are you emotionally attached to your results, to the money? Because if so, you can never make money, and let that sink in. If you're emotionally attached, you can never make money. But how to fix it? By seeing it as something separate. When I lose money, I see it as just numbers on the screen behind me. I don't see it as physical money. I just see it as demo money. I'm just following my plan and executing, and I hide my P&L during the day. I don't take a look at, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. You get crazy that way. You should hide your P&L and you should focus on executing the plan that should be next to your computer and that you go over every single day. Next thing is that you need to focus on the long term. If I lose this week and next week, I don't really care. I know that in the long term, my strategy makes money if I follow the plan. So that's what I do. Focus on the long term. Don't focus on, I lost yesterday, or I need to read a psychology book and this and that. Don't be so weak. Don't be so, don't cry. Just have some confidence. If you did your work properly, if you backtested properly, if you have your setup, if it has been working for years and years and years, don't shit yourself because it loses 3 times in a row. Grow up, grow some balls, follow the plan, and show yourself that you can follow a plan, and the results will follow. That's what separates full-time professional traders. They don't cry when they lose 2 times in a row. They just follow their plan. It sounds so easy, but so many people lose. It's no secret that 90% of the people lose. It's because they just don't have the discipline and the balls to stick to a plan when shit hits the fan. I know that rhymes, it wasn't my intention, but you get the point. Follow the plan, guys. Follow the plan. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some tips from this. Focus on building one setup, simple. Allocate bet size accordingly to increase your edge, and then make sure you can execute it without making mistakes. That's how full-time traders make a living trading Forex. Now, if you want to make a living trading Forex like I do, my track record is on my website. You can see that I'm honest, I'm open, I'm transparent. If this is something you want, click the link in the comments below this video, book a free call with me, and there we can talk about how we get you from struggling trader to profitable trader. Thanks for watching.